Hi, I'm Scott Pyburn,
Hey, and I'm Don Bellis.
and this is Monkeys Drinking Beans, your daily dose of whatever we feel like talking about while we're drinking coffee. Good morning, Dom.
Morning, Scott. How are you, buddy?
Good. So, any interesting news? Anything you read recently that you were? Oh, who's in the back? You got a burglar.
No, I don't. That's the roommate. Don't worry about it.
Oh. I looked out of my coffee and I looked up and someone was lurking out the door. I was just like,
Alert the police.
Someone's stealing your China, Dom.
Yeah.
So anywho,
It's a very different show.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Do not call 911. Dom is okay.
Do not be alarmed.
Yeah. He didn't trip over the attack cat, so he's good to go.
Yes, that's right. My attack cat did not. She's sitting over here going,
Yes, stupid human. He can take care of himself. I don't care if he dies.
That's right. That's right.
He's plotting your death, as you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you froze.
What was your question? I know there was a question. There was a question, wasn't there?
There was a question at some point.
Hopefully. Oh, I froze.
You froze.
Hello, freezing.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's right.
There it is. Boom.
There was something. There was a question. There was a question, wasn't there?
There was a question. So
you had a question?
I was just curious about the any news or anything interesting that you've read online that.
Oh, constantly.
Well, of course. This will be a 7-hour show if we talk about Trump, though. I'm just saying.
No, it isn't. It isn't Trump. No, but Congress apparently is moving to repeal the endless war authorization that was awarded to the president after 9/11. So for all you kids out there, 9/11 was 2 presidents ago.
Well, I wouldn't say they're probably not going to be our target demographics. So,
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like 9/11 was 2 presidents ago. It was George W. Bush, wasn't it? Who, after 9/11, got Congress to give him all these broad executive powers, which said, hey, yeah, you can declare war on anybody without congressional, orders at all.
Thank God for that, because, the guy we have currently running the country, that could be disastrous.
Right, well, so now Congress is moving to repeal.
What does this red button do? I'm just going to press this red button right now, and
right.
damn the consequences.
That's right, exactly. And what does the red button do, in fact? I don't know.
Where is my red button? I have a red button around here somewhere. I don't know.
Do you? Do you have one of those Office Max red buttons?
Yeah,
Office
that was easy,
I got to tell you, that promotion, genius.
Yeah.
that whole boom, it's done. That's beautiful. But yeah, so
well, that's a good.
So yeah, apparently this very brave woman in Congress who is named, let's see, what is her name? Representative. Barbara Lee, who's a Democrat from California, is the who said, look, we gotta stop doing this. We've been at war for 16 years. 16 years. Now, Scott,
I would
this, but your daughter is not that old.
No, and I would go as far to say
your daughter has not seen a time when America has not been at war with terror.
Well, yeah, sure.
With an emotional state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to have war, with happiness.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially when it comes out of the oven, fresh baked and.
I'm telling you, I don't like these cookies, and we're going to go to war on happiness because these cookies are crap.
I was thinking pizza, but okay, sure.
Don't mess with my pizza.
Because there ain't much more happiness than a nice pizza pie coming out of the oven.
I think we should all just pack up and leave for Italy right now. We could be sitting in Milan. Is Milan in Italy? No.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
Is.
Sorry, my brain is. I'm old. I don't know where places are.
Yes, I don't know where places are. Okay, Donald, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We could be sitting in Milan, having the little cookies and the pizza right now. Just saying.
With nice little cups of espresso with the baby,
Yes, instead of, this Mondo coffee, which us Americans must have,
Yeah.
I need 4 gallons of coffee to function in the morning.
It's really funny because, like last time I was in Milan, I was like, can I have the big cups, the big boy cups?
Yes.
I'm from Chicago, and I'm going to need a big boy cup. Something along the lines of this. Right there.
Well, it's
Thanks.
funny because I read an article online, speaking of that, about how in Europe they have smaller portion sizes.
Oh, they totally do.
Yeah, which is like, they bring you a plate. And I've never been, so, I mean, you can confirm this. I can't.
They totally do.
Yeah.
All over Europe.
They bring you just like this little thing, and it's like, what? That's it? That's all I get? What?
Yeah, that's it.
And that's what? 42 lira, or, I don't know.
Yeah, right? Yes.
This costs more than my bus ticket.
In your version of Europe, they never went over to the euro. They still use the euro. They do. They do.
Yes.
You and my grandfather.
Well, hey,
my grandfather.
Okay, I grew up watching classic films starring Cary Grant. Okay.
Yes.
My parents raised me with classic cinema verte, or whatever you call it. It's just like,
Absolutely.
okay. Back then, the cars were better. The pants had pleats.
Yes.
It's how it was, and that is my vision of Europe.
Absolutely, man.
1956.
Audrey Hepburn in every scene.
Yeah,
that's right.
I want Audrey Hepburn to walk by and Cary Grant to walk by, and Dino's over there drinking something.
That's right. Hey, I gotta tell you, I failed as a gardener, and it's relevant to pizza because you know how I like basil on my pizza.
Oh yes, love basil.
Okay, so the basil didn't make it this winter. Over the winter, it just didn't make it. So here's where my basil is.
Oh no.
This is my basil plant.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell my wife. You need to keep it outside or near direct sunlight.
Really
not in the 90-degree weather. It's just like a magnifying glass. Come here, basil. I'll kill you.
My window faces west, and the problem with the direct sunlight is it's not so direct. Because I've got these trees in the way.
Right.
So, by the time the afternoon sun hits these things, it's filtered through a plum tree and another tree here, and plus I've got these very deep eaves. So not so much.
I could send you a grow light.
No, it's okay. I can get grow lights too.
Okay.
I could totally get grow lights and put it on this little guy here.
Right. I'm blind.
I could totally do that, and we'd be fine. But I'm afraid I killed my basil.
Wow. Oh.
And I have a sad about it.
Yeah, considering you're Italian, that's kind of a crime against a crime against a crime.
It is, because basil is so easy to grow.
Yes.
All kinds of basil are easy to grow.
Yeah, you should just be able to throw seeds in the dirt and walk away, and boom, you've got I can't see you through the basil.
Well, it does, and it takes over.
Yeah.
It's that kind of plant. It takes over. The tendrils shoot into the earth, and they spread horizontally.
But apparently not in Michigan.
Yes, they do in Michigan. Sure they do. Yeah. Oh, the soil is great here, man.
Yeah.
The soil is unbelievable here. It's very sandy, but it's otherwise good. So what's going on with you? What have you been reading?
Well, what did I read yesterday? I had this on the top of my head.
And I don't want to take too long because I know that we got these topics we want to talk about today.
Well, yeah. Basically, like I said, I woke up this morning. I read this article. Okay, this kind of disturbed me. It was on Facebook. A friend of mine posted this, and a lady apparently, and this is a kind of a deep subject. I don't normally like to talk about this kind of stuff. Apparently burnt her husband alive because her husband raped their 12-year-old daughter.
Whoa.
Yeah. And look, I have a 14-year-old daughter, okay? If anybody had done anything to my 14-year-old daughter, I would probably have the same initial reaction. But
oh my God.
Where does two wrongs make a right? I mean, burned alive, like threw gasoline kerosene on it, and my friend online was like, good wife, he deserved it. And my initial reaction was I started typing something, and then I deleted it because I'm like, I don't want to get in a Facebook troll war on Facebook because that's just, everybody likes to have an opinion on Facebook, and everybody likes to yell, and, oh, no, you're right, and I'm wrong, and it's like, why am I wasting so much energy on
It's
this?
pure reactionary.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's just.
But it something about it sparked me enough to start typing, and then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, Scott. No, delete. I mean, fundamentally, yeah, as a father, I agree in a sense that there should be a punishment befitting the crime. But lighting somebody on fire? I don't know. And I know there's going to be probably a lot of people who watch this program. They're going to be like, "You're wrong, Scott. You deserved it. You should burn in hell." And yeah, fundamentally,
You know what? That's what the comments thing on the bottom of this thing is for.
yes, don't write angry letters, please. Don't be an internet troll. You know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Nobody wants to see it.
Thank you. Yes.
I get it. As a father, I get it. I'd be right there with a pitchfork. But how does our society degrade into lynch mobism? You know, this is like the initial reaction. It's like, oh, okay, let's just round up all these people and execute them because we don't like, the color of their skin or the outfits they wear or whatever. It's like, no.
Well, it's not even about that. It's what he did.
Right.
I don't like what he did. Let's
Exactly.
not degenerate into like what color skin he's got or whatever. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's
this
is something horrible this person did to a child.
Exactly. But at the same time, this is where the whole issue of one crime is worse than another. Is murder worse than rape? Depends on the circumstances. Depends on who was raped. Depends on who was murdered. It's like fundamentally, according to our society, a crime is a crime is a crime. But it is what it is. They don't see. A lot of people don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I don't see the rape of a child as being the same as the rape of a man, and men do get raped.
Yes.
There's a fundamental shift in our thinking. Well, he was a man, Well, this was an innocent child.
This was a child.
Yeah. It's a horrible crime, but does burning someone alive?
Well, you have to ask yourself that the mother taking the law into her own hands betrays that she doesn't have faith in the law.
Which I think is a fundamental issue in this country. I mean, if you look at what's going on and how people are tromping over their laws, I can, to some extent, understand it.
But if we give up on the law, right, then what do we have? We have chaos.
Well,
right?
and the thing about this article was it wasn't even. I'll be honest with you. I didn't read when the article was written, how recent, because a lot of this stuff on Facebook is just, oh, I saw this and it's horrible. Let me share it.
Right.
So realistically, what was the entire thing? Did she get justice? Did she not get justice? Or did she just decide, you know what? Hey, I walked into the bedroom and saw you doing this. I'm kicking you out and I'm lighting you on fire right away. What was the progression? We don't know because it's a simple internet snippet of an article that's thrown up online, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is horrible. React. Is it sensationalism? I don't know. But that's my squirrel way around answering your question of what did you read today? And it was kind of reactionary. My gut reaction was, yes, it's horrible, but was the punishment just? I don't think anybody getting burned alive for any reason is just. You want to execute somebody, you want to try somebody, you want to throw them in jail, let the prisoners go at them because that's what happens to those people in prison. I don't know. So,
I did look up the incident that you brought up, and you wondered when it was from, and it was a news story from 2014 that, according to Snopes, has been cut together with other supposed stories over time and been posted as recently as 2017.
Right, and that's another thing. That's one of the things I hate about Facebook is everybody takes that, and even I do it sometimes.
Legend.
Take
it's become urban legend, and it's not your fault or anybody else's fault.
It's shared and shared and shared, and it's telephone. There was probably a snippet of truth to the story, But then it's like, oh, this happened yesterday. No, this happened
Right.
4 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know.
Well, do you know the first instinct that I have when I hear a story like that is, my first concern is the daughter, the child in the case, and I just want to get that kid to safety as quickly as possible. And I don't even care about the perpetrator. I'm like, okay, let me get this kid to safety and let the cops worry about the perp. And, let the law worry about even the mother. I don't even care. I just want to get that kid out of that situation as fast as possible.
No, absolutely. And again, this was, I woke up, I got on Facebook, I started scrolling, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's...
Because my heart breaks for that kid.
Yeah.
And, in a way, my heart breaks also for the parents, because how messed up must they be to get to the point where this happens?
Yeah. Well, and it's, it is what it is.
Where a child is victimized, and then one spouse turns on the other spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, see, I imagine that these two went to an altar once and pledged their love to each other for life.
Right.
They did, right?
Yeah.
At some point in their lives, they went to an altar in front of all their friends and family. And, oh, did I lose you there?
No,
Are you back?
So. I'm back. You're still moving.
Sorry, you froze a little bit. But so these two people,
didn't move.
At one point in the past, these two people stood in front of all their friends and family, and they pledged their eternal love to each other, and they walked down the aisle, and they got married.
Right.
And now what must have happened to these two people that they're now in murderous threats to each other? One person setting the other on fire, the other person sexually assaulting their own child. I mean, how messed up are these people?
Yeah.
And my heart breaks for them too,
So the moral of the story is, don't wake up in the morning and look at Facebook as your news feed. Go to the BBC. Because the BBC knows. And everybody
BBC
else, like
knows
Fox
things.
News, is just sensationalism.
Yes. I hear the doctor. The doctor looks at BBC News.
Yes, well,
That's where the doctor turns for news.
Yes.
BBC One, BBC Two. Yes.
So that was my rabbit hole down into the depressing stories. Let's talk about something lighter.
Well, I don't know how I follow that, man. That is
that's okay.
That is messed up.
It is.
So Trump was in Poland yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is not a bash Trump thing, because actually I heard his speech, and it was a very nice speech to the Polish people.
Yeah, I saw it.
I thought it was very honoring to the Polish people.
I saw the meme online, which I think was the most fitting. And I know
There's a meme?
Yeah, there is a meme.
I'm not playing dumb.
No.
I'm not trolling for anti-Trump stuff here.
No, because
I'm literally asking. There's really a meme for the Poland trip?
Yes. Well, you know the whole and I'll try and be as polite about this as possible. The whole Trump thing about grabbing women in the privates.
Yeah.
Well, apparently
really.
there's this meme of the first lady, the Polish first lady, shaking. Was the vice president?
Melania.
Melania's hand, and then
Trump
and walking by Trump. and it's basically, apparently, if you do this, the Polish prime minister just basically walks right by you, or Polish first lady walks right by you.
But she was actually following protocol.
Was she?
Yes. She gets all of this credit for blowing off, Mr. Trump, but she was following protocol. The protocol is for the heads of state to shake hands, and immediately following, the first ladies shake hands. So
the first ladies don't shake hands of the heads of state first. They just shake hands to each other first. I see.
Yes. And so that whole brouhaha about Trump looking all hurt, that's all Trump. That's because Trump didn't study the protocols.
Yeah. Well, he was the one who stuck his hand out, and she just walked by. It's like,
well, that was his fault.
Yeah.
Don't do stuff that's against the protocol. look, he's got a staff.
Yeah.
That includes a communication director.
Does he?
Right? Yes.
No, what I'm saying is, with everything he's posting, really? What are they doing? I think they're sitting in the back saying, wait a minute, let's just watch and see how this plays out, because you know he's going to screw this up. Wait. I think they're basically there for the ride. They're not there to help him at all.
You would be the first against the wall when the revolution came. You know what I mean? Trump would be like, off with his head.
They're the ones who are stealing the jewels out of the safe, getting in the Lamborghini and taking off, saying, he's going to have to catch me first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
fun stuff.
Give me Pyburn's head on a stick.
Yeah, because I'm the first guy Trump's coming after, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is the politics portion of the show.
He just screwed that up. He just totally screwed that up, and it was like, dink. But it's okay. He gets a pass because he's Trump.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully
at some point in this administration, we're just going to have to give him a pass because, he's Donnie and he rides the short bus.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll have to deal with him for 8 years.
Yeah, I think that has sailed. That's never going to happen. But yeah,
we shall see.
I mean, the big headline after the Poland trip, the big headline here is Trump shows anew a willingness to break norms.
That's a political spin if I ever saw one.
Come on.
Really?
A willingness to break norms. You don't say. Okay. Come on. But but in the meantime, we're flying bombers over the contested South China Sea.
Yes.
Whoa. Yeah, it's heating up over there. But it's all good.
Yes.
It's all good.
It's madness. Madness.
So apparently, Ivanka was in the Trump Tower over the weekend, and this is kind of tragic. Like this is scary shit that's happening over there. Okay, so Ivanka, not the wife. Okay, the daughter, the first daughter.
Yes,
is in Trump Tower, and is targeted by a knife-wielding man claiming to be a United States senator. Yeah, and the knife-wielding senator tries to reach her while in Trump Tower, and he was wearing a bulletproof vest and wielding multiple knives. Like at first, I thought it was you.
No, it wouldn't be me.
In your chef gear with your multiple knives.
Well, no, if I was going to come at Trump in my chef gear, I would come at him with spatulas. Okay, I wouldn't mess around with knives. I would sharpen my spatulas and be like, come at him that way. If I was going to come after Trump, which I'm not. So Trump, don't knock on my door.
You're not.
If you knock on my door and I have spatulas in my hand, I'll serve you a burger.
Please do not investigate my co-host. He is not going to be coming after any of the Trump family. No.
If anything, I'm going to try and kill you with cholesterol because I'll serve you a burger. Okay.
Right.
Wait a minute. So the senator couldn't afford a gun? Is this why?
Well, apparently this guy is not
a bulletproof vest, but not a gun. He just comes at him with knives, really?
But this guy is not a senator. He's 52-year-old Sixto Adames Benitez is his name. Sixto Adames Benitez, who sounds like a character from, a Broadway musical, frankly.
Don Quixote's cousin.
But he's undergoing psychiatric evaluation at Weill Cornell Medical Center
for attacking
after exhibiting behavior of an emotionally disturbed. Huh?
For attacking Ivanka or for being named like that?
Jonathan lives on a secluded island in Panama.
Where does Jonathan live?
Is scarce, so it's hard for Jonathan to get the vitamins he needs.
Okay, I apologize. The stupid,
Let's talk about Jonathan. Jonathan has a vitamin deficiency. Let's start a campaign for Jonathan.
I don't like it when pages start playing things.
Yeah.
I didn't click a play button.
No.
Like, why are you playing anything?
I understand. You know what I hate? I hate it and this happens more on my phone than it happens on the web. But when I'm surfing the internet on my phone and I click on, I'm on Facebook and that's an interesting news article. I click over. And then all of a sudden these pop-up ads pop up. Yeah. And you're trying to scroll and a pop-up ad pops up. And then you're scrolling and another pop-up ad pops up. It's like, let me read the article first, then you can hit me with all the advertising. I came for the article. And what's worse is when you go to the next page and it pops up again. It pops up again. It pops up again. It's like, really? Just let me read the article.
Yeah.
Put the ads on the side. You don't have to pop them up and block out the article. You can't read this until you click here because we need your advertising dollars by clicking.
I know. It's so crass.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's just very, very sad.
Yes.
But the NYPD is on record here as saying that the gentleman was trying to meet with Ivanka Trump to discuss her dresses. He was discovered to be wearing a bullet-resistant vest, and that he had, and further investigation revealed he had forged an identification card.
Well, with a name like that, he's going to have to. You've got 12 names here, sir. I'm going to have to look into this.
So, I mean, they got him on a possession of a forged instrument in the first degree.
Wait.
And they've got him on trespassing because he entered the Trump Tower on forged credentials. It's just it's scary.
So if I walk into Trump Tower
this guy just walked into Trump Tower.
Yeah, so if I just walk into Trump Tower and I sign in, under the name like Joe McDonald, and that's not my real name, that's like a felony. They're gonna come after the McDonald Corporation.
Man.
He's related to you.
I don't know.
I'm
just saying, might not be the best use of your time that day.
Probably not.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Well, it's sad. I mean, I hate to see anybody get attacked, let alone one of the Trumps.
Look, don't
go after somebody's family. If you want to go after the guy, go after the guy, but don't go after his family. That's just.
And I don't like some of these people online. They think that I hate Trump. I don't hate Trump. I don't wish anyone any harm.
No, neither do I.
Frankly, the guy is our president, and as embarrassing as he is, to me personally, I don't want the guy to. I cringe whenever the guy embarrasses us. Okay,
yeah.
I don't want any harm to come to the guy or his family.
Yeah,
I think he should just go to jail.
Well,
honestly,
I don't want any harm to come to him because then you got that idiot from Indiana running the country, and nobody wants.
Oh my gosh, get me started on Pence. But I mean, he's got kids who are mostly grown up, but he's still got a kid who's a minor.
But here, you know what scares the hell out of me?
Barron is a kid, right? He's 12 or something.
But you know what scares the hell out of me? Is that in 10, 15 years, we're going to see Donald Jr. running for president. And it's going to be Bush Jr. and Bush Sr. all over again. That scares the hell out of me. Well, Dad was president. I can run too.
Yeah. But if you run, we're going to have training wheels on your bike because, you're all over the place.
I'm moving to Canada, I swear. If that happens, it's over. It's really...
I don't know, man. Canada's got like new rules about immigration from the United States now. Do you know that?
Of course they do. They fast tracked that shit through their Congress as soon as Trump got elected. They're like,
they're no fools.
Oh hell no, we're not becoming the United States, and you're not Mexico. Okay?
That's right.
They're no fools. Their borders are very difficult to cross. It's not like that movie Canadian Bacon with Alan Alda and John Candy.
That was a beautiful movie, man.
Dan Aykroyd pulls over the dump truck because they've got all these anti-Canadian slurs, and the only thing he says, they got to be in French and English. So John Candy's out there spray painting all the slurs in French.
That is so true. Yeah. All the signs in Canada. Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
No offense to Canadians or any Canadians watching this. We love you. You're our cuddly neighbors to the north. And
hey man, I love Canada. I have family up there. I do. I have family up there. My cousins live up there. And they live in Toronto, like around Toronto, and in Ontario. And it's a beautiful, beautiful province. And I've always wanted to go to Montreal and see Montreal. In fact, that's the reason I took French in high school, because I wanted to go to Montreal.
I just want to go to verify whether they use the word a lot. That's the only reason I want to go. Is it true, eh?
I watched that movie you recommended last night.
Okay, let's talk. Yeah, Prototype. That's one of our topics anyway.
Prototype.
Yeah.
And I mean, this movie was 1983.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right around the time, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Superman the movie. You know, but so here's the thing about Prototype. First of all, it's a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
It's a very low-budget flick.
Yes.
And in fact, I think the most expensive set pieces for this movie was the military uniforms used in some of those scenes,
which they probably rented from the A-Team.
Which the Class A uniforms that the generals wore were so ill-fitting. I felt really bad for the generals, because I'm like, you couldn't tailor the uniforms for yourself? Oh, no. We had to return them the next, for 3 hours later.
Yes, no budgeting. No budgeting, because, Colonel Deckard was going to chase the A-Team in that same outfit in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And don't mess with them, because we can't afford the budget to dry clean them. Yeah. And but yeah, I like the movie. First of all, I like Christopher Plummer.
Love Christopher Plummer.
But note to Chris, you're not doing My Fair Lady. Stop doing My Fair Lady.
He was very Shakespearean, very Henry Higgins, very. This is the serious television role. I mean, and I love Christopher Plummer. Don't get me wrong. I love Christopher Plummer.
I love Chris Plummer. He's a treasure.
Yes.
But he's still doing some of those lines. He's delivering some of those lines like he's Henry Higgins.
Yes.
The over the top emotional outbursts.
Well, it's 1983. Remember, I mean, for the time, this was high drama. So.
Yeah. And it was very interesting themes, and exploring the usual AI Android themes that we love so much. You talked about how it was. What did you say? It was first season Data.
Yeah. Well, David Morse.
Next Generation.
Let's set this up for the people who haven't seen this movie. Okay, it's essentially. Christopher Plummer creates an android, the first human-esque android, and he's very season 1 Data, like Star Trek Next Generation, played by David Morse, who was starring at the time on the television show St. Elsewhere. So this was filmed during their hiatus, and it's a made-for-TV film. Christopher Plummer creates David Morse and this android who he names David, who is very, you can't tell the difference between him and a human, because David Morse is technically a human.
He's actually named Michael.
Oh, is it Michael? That's right. I thought it was David for some reason. That's bad. Okay. My bad. It's like I said, I haven't seen. I watched the movie about a month ago, and I haven't seen it in 30 years. All. Yeah, right. His name is Michael. Sorry, I thought it was David after David, but anyway, Michael. Thank you. So names him Michael, and it's the
a great performance.
Yeah,
very subtle
performance. Yeah. It's the whole. Military decides, well, we're going to make Michaels be soldiers. And the creator's like, no, this is not why I created him. I created him to benefit mankind, yada, yada, yada. So there's this whole power struggle. Don't want to give away the ending, but did you cry?
I did. I
did.
I thought it was very moving, and I thought it was a very empowered ending. I thought it was, I was rooting for Michael. Because I thought, here's a guy who's taking control of his existence for the first time in his young life.
Yeah.
He's taking control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you've got this overpowering father figure in Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Who's very controlling in his own right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got the military who funded his research.
Yeah.
And so the military has this legal claim over the project, and therefore over Michael.
Right.
And they're basically saying, we'll do whatever the hell we want with him because he belongs to us anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't use the personal pronoun he. They basically call him it. Yeah. It's it. It's personal property. It's it's our property.
Yeah.
And
it's very ahead of its time for 1980s. And I think that's part of the reason why it kind of like slipped under the radar and was never seen again, wasn't really played in repeats, because it's just so above.
Well, when you're a direct to TV, when you're a direct to TV release, just like when you're a direct to video nowadays, right? You're direct to video now. The syndication rules, so many things have changed in television over the last 30 years, haven't they?
Yeah.
The change in syndication rules back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, we saw that happen and how it changed things for shows like Star Trek Next Generation.
Right.
You know, where things went instantly to syndication.
Yeah.
That was unheard of before.
Well, and it's interesting you mention that, because it's funny with the advent of Blu-ray and the advent of taking shows like Next Generation, which was recently restored, because some of the tapes, if you notice watching on some of the TV channels, like Picard's crushed crimson is becoming pink because the tape is losing its color over and over. I'm watching reruns of MASH with my wife on MeTV, and it's starting to look faded, and it's like, I'm just curious, like, why can't they use the DVDs or use the remastered versions? Is that a syndication thing? Well, here's the thing. We gave you these tapes, and you can run these tapes until they wear out, but you cannot use the same version with better quality. It's weird, because why am I watching something that's like MeTV has become like the Nick at Night on free television in Chicagoland and other markets, but they're using Star Trek. They have a channel called Heroes and Icons where they use the remastered digital version of the original Star Trek. Why aren't they using the DVD, the Blu-ray version of MASH? You know, interesting, like syndication little rules. I'm wondering if that's like in the contract of here's. Well,
you're bringing up points that I've wondered about, but I've never really articulated like you're doing.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
Yeah, because you watch it like, why am I watching this? This is like, I'm not watching a rerun of I Love Lucy, okay? Where, you know, you expect a little graininess, and no offense to I Love Lucy, because my wife loves I Love Lucy.
Sure.
And she, you know, will go apeshit on me if I say anything bad about Lucy. But it's
no, it's wonderful.
But it's not like you're watching a grainy Andy Griffith episode or a grainy Kolchak the Night Stalker. You know, it's like you're watching something that has officially been remastered on Blu-ray. So why are we not watching the Blu-ray version? I don't know.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
You know, I saw I Love Lucy on Netflix not so long ago. Because as I mentioned to you, I've been on Netflix now like a grand total of 30 days.
Yeah.
And I was delighted to see I Love Lucy in that Harpo Marx episode.
Oh, God, I love that.
Which I can't get enough of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so classic, you know.
It is. It's brilliant. And I think Lucy's one of the shows that has been Blu-rayed and has been remastered to the crisp.
It looks like a remastered episode.
Yeah, of black and white. So Lucy's probably a bad example, but there are a lot of shows out there that have been remastered that networks are not using the digital master of. It's like, why are you not doing this? You know?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And if it is to chisel a few extra dollars out of the fans, it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's one of those examples of, we're gonna be penny wise here, but it's pound foolish.
Yeah.
Like, what? Man, you're greedy. Like, how much more money are you gonna wring out of this franchise and deprive the franchise out of showcasing it in the manner in which it deserves?
Well, and like you said, I think it's all a syndicated. It's all the studios, because if you notice, like Netflix will have shows for a certain period of time, and then they're pulled.
Yes.
Because their contract expired, and then they'll go to Hulu or they'll go to Amazon or they'll flip over to another. You know, so and so has offered us more money, so your contract ends here. We're not renewing it for you. We're going over here.
Yeah.
Which I think is silly, but it is what it is, and that's probably part of the contract. It's like, well, you can pay this much to get this quality, or you can pay this much to get this quality, and some networks are like, well, budgetary wise, we can only afford this, or you know what, we're only going to afford this anyway because we're only going to have it for a limited time. I don't know. If there's a network executive out there watching this show, please comment below and fill us in on how this works.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Because I think It's like I know I'm very pro the content, and I'm very like screw the damn producers and screw the damn studios, because the way I feel about it is this. And if I just sound like a troll, then forgive me. I don't want to sound like a troll. I think that I love shows like I Love Lucy, shows like even Star Trek Next Generation, and for that matter the original Star Trek and the whole franchise, frankly, have made their fortune. They've made their fortune.
Oh yeah.
And frankly, they just need the exposure now, more than they need our dollars.
Yeah. If that's okay to say in the capitalist world where the bottom dollar is the bottom line,
I just think, can you just get over yourselves? I know you're Star Trek, and I know you're the Paramount company and all of that, and
says the man wearing the Star Trek T-shirt.
Yes. You know what? I think we've capitalized your model enough.
Yes. Send us money because we're advertising for you.
Yes, exactly. I think we are the devoted fans, and I'm just saying to you, maybe it's time to just do it because it's the right thing to do for the fans.
Yeah. I don't know.
I look at.
I agree with you as a fan, but I understand the corporate model doesn't work like that.
I understand the corporate model too. Hey, look, I used to be a publisher. I used to be a media guy, but I look at the way channels are now distributing content. Okay, I look at the way CBS is distributing content, and NBC and ABC through their and Fox and all of the others through their streaming service on the websites, right? And it's total garbage.
Yeah,
it's total garbage because they've got shows that are new shows. That, like, there's this great show. It's a very sweet show, but it's very very cool. It's very very well targeted demographically. It's called Downward Dog. Have you seen Downward Dog?
I have not. My wife watched a few episodes and didn't care for it that much, but I hear interesting things.
I like the show. It's the whole show is from the dog's perspective, point of view.
Sure.
And so everything that happens on the show is filtered through the dog's eyes. And it's an absurd kind of treatment.
Sure.
That actually works because they sell out to it.
Right.
They really commit. And
God bless them for trying that perspective. I mean, that in a sense is unique. Okay, it's a sitcom through the dog.
That's why I like
the eyes
the
of the dog versus, and maybe it's, hey, let's nobody's really handled the dog market. Let's get into the dog market and sell stuff to dog owners and make a show for dog and pet owners.
The hook is that it's absurd because we're looking at the show through the dog's eyes.
Yeah.
However, the deeper meaning is that we as humans do absurd things.
Yeah.
That are revealed through this POV that, wow, we are really foolish creatures, we humans.
Yeah.
And it takes the dog's POV to kind of reveal it to the audience and say, wow, aren't they silly?
Yeah.
They don't see it. How silly they are. But the dog has this wisdom, It's really it's kind of touching.
Yeah.
But the point that I was trying to make by even introducing that is that here's a new show, and they hype it up, of course, by doing the whole like teasers here, and this show is coming this fall, and or this spring or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And ad nauseum. Another show of this is the Still Star-Crossed, which is the continuation of the story of Romeo and Juliet after they commit suicide.
Yeah, which I was like, nope.
I know, which I can't stand the story of Romeo and Juliet. I was not on board with that series. However, I'm kind of hooked on the whole characters. They're interesting characters.
So you're actually watching Star-Crossed?
I am.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm really frustrated with the networks on. They're dribbling the show episodes excruciatingly slow
Yeah.
onto their streaming services. And it's like, no, you can't watch this free episode until 7 days after it airs.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, twiddly, 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 twiddly. Why are you doing this to us?
Yeah.
Why? But you can watch it if you're a cable subscriber.
Right, which I am
Or
not.
an AT&T subscriber.
Yeah.
Or if you're... But you know what? If all you are is an internet subscriber, which I am, only an internet subscriber, because I don't give a rat's ass about your damn cable channels.
Yeah, I have a digital antenna. I gave up cable years ago because there's like 2,000 channels and there's still nothing on.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I subscribe to internet. I subscribe to Netflix. I had Amazon for a while and watched a few of the shows, and the really good shows, Amazon didn't renew.
That's me too.
Amazon didn't renew, so I was like, you know what, Amazon, we're done. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Netflix and my internet.
So my thing is like, look, guys, this is ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. These are channels that I should be able to see for free.
Sure.
This is my thing. I'm like, first of all, you're cutting in with ads every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Second of all, this is network television. This is free TV. Don't tell me I can't watch your shows. And the other thing is like, look, these are new programs. You should be pushing them out as fast as possible.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
Because you want to get an audience.
Yeah, you should be allowing everybody. If here's the thing, if it's on broadcast television, even though I know for a fact you don't actually have a television, so you watch everything on your computer, which I understand. They should be, as soon as it airs on television, like a half an hour, it should be up on their website, available to watch for free for the world.
Boom.
Because the reality of it is if you're broadcasting your content out there for free anyway, then it's with commercials, it's already paid for. It's not that valuable.
Yeah.
Okay? People, you want them to watch it, put it out there. Because the advertisers have already paid for it. You shouldn't hold on to it like a miser saying, oh, well, we're going to wait and put it on DVD. Guess what? DVD's dead, people. Nobody give a shit about DVDs
Nobody
anymore.
Cares.
Nobody cares.
DVDs are dead.
Yep. It's a coaster, which is exactly what I use it for. So speaking of content, which is, it's summer, which means nothing's on. You know?
Hence my subscription to Netflix.
Yes, hence they have ABC, which is still one of my favorite broadcast networks because the ABC does have some good content. Has brought back Battle of the Network Stars.
Okay.
Do you remember Battle of the Network Stars from the 70s and 80s?
God, will you please just hire some freaking writers?
This is Howard Cosell, here today with the stars of Welcome Back, Kotter, going up against the stars of the Brady Bunch. Yeah, a staple of my childhood, I was not an athletic kid. I was Charlie Brown. I was short and I was fat. I loved this show as a child. I'm going to see Fonzie actually do something athletic other than jumping over a shark.
Can we just hire some freaking writers?
No, it's too expensive.
And write some actual content.
Can't afford it.
And
don't have the budget for it.
The original content. We've got sound stages. So
the first episode.
Got empty writers' rooms.
Yeah.
Full of struggling writers.
Eventually they're going to hire writers back because they got to pay for the real estate. These rooms are doing nothing. We have to fill them with writers. That's my theory.
You know what?
So I got to tell you.
Here's what I know about writers. You throw them in a room. You throw in a pizza every 3 hours. That's magic, baby.
Yeah. So realistically,
I don't know, man.
The first episode they had literally like Blair and Tootie from The Facts of Life. They brought on vintage actors. They had Joey from Blossom. They brought back some of the actors that were on the original show back in the day. They had them compete with some younger actors.
It's so sad.
But then the second episode was, who the hell are these people? These are the Dancing with the Wannabe Stars Battle of the Network. It was like I don't know any of these names. It was like the first episode, well, let's get some vintage names. We'll hook the old audience in, and then the second episode, we'll run with no name internet sensation models versus.
Just sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. And here's the thing: the original Battle of the Network Stars, they had different events. They had skiing, they had tobogganing, it wasn't the same events. The second show, I kid you not, was a clone of the first show. It was, we're doing the swimming, we're doing the tobogganing, we're doing the obstacle course, we're doing the tug of war. We're doing the exact same things in the exact same order as the first show. I'm like, how stupid is that? The original show was original. They did lots of different events. Each week it was different. This week it was just like, okay, we're doing the same thing we did last week with people you don't understand. Or
Yeah,
don't know
that's
who they
just
are.
wrong.
Oh, and they brought back the Gong Show.
I'm sorry, what?
They brought back the
Show.
Gong Show.
ABC.
Yes, the Gong Show. With this, it gets even better. Okay,
Who's hosting?
Michael Myers.
No.
But it's not Michael Myers. It's Michael Myers playing a character he created called Tommy Maitland. Yes, who is a British comedian. And
So
nobody acknowledges
it's
Michael Myers.
already jumped the shark.
Oh yeah, nobody acknowledges it's Michael Myers. Last night they had Dana Carvey on the show, and Dana Carvey had to call him Tommy. Dana Carvey. Wayne's World.
It's already jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go, from the jump,
And
jumped the shark.
It's the exact same format as the original show.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mike Myers. Pull the parachute. Pull it.
Yes. Well, we
That
are
just
coming.
makes me sad.
Yeah, it does
It
make
just
me
makes
sad.
me sad for him.
Yeah, it does.
He's so much better than that.
But with that, Dom, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark, so we're going to call this a show. Thank you for watching our first show. Hopefully you were as entertained as we were. And
Oh my
hopefully you'll
gosh.
come back next week and we'll talk a little bit more about the Gong Show and other things that we find interesting and frustrating as 45-year-olds who have nothing to do but sit on our porches and point at kids and say, "Pull up your pants!"
Yes, you! Pull it up! Pull it up! No one wants to see that!
Nobody wants to see that. Pull up your pants! Get off my lawn!
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
That's right, all four of you.
Yes.